Live from 2 News. This is Talkin' Real, powered by Strong Auto Group.
Welcome into the show within a show. We are Talkin' Real. I'm David James, along with Brian Dunseth. We are here every Thursday talking soccer on KMYU. We're on a little late tonight because the Ohio State game went into overtime and pushed everything back. Normally, we start rolling here at about 10:35. Now, Real Salt Lake has the week off. It gives them time to analyze a 3-3 draw with Philadelphia. It was a game filled, Dunny, with crazy goals.
Yeah, listen, I've been trying to rack my brain for the past 4 days, trying to figure out if there's ever been these type of goals conceded at such an alarming rate by both teams in the history of Major League Soccer, and I couldn't. You think about own goals, deflections, bad decision-making, goals from throw-ins. This game had pretty much all of it.
All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from this one. Dunny, take us through the wackiness.
Well, you see the start for Real Salt Lake, and it was a positive start. They wanted to get out in control. They wanted to jump all over the Philadelphia Union, and one bad defensive mistake from Shannon Williams, a foul on Alvaro Saborio, and there's not a goalkeeper in the world that's going to touch this free kick from Javier Morales. It takes a slight touch on the way in, but it gave Real Salt Lake the early 1-0 lead. And while Real Salt Lake was trying to punish the mistakes of the Philadelphia Union, it was actually a mistake of their own going the opposite way. Christian Maidana gets to that cultured left foot, good in-swinging ball, goes off the face of Kyle Beckman, a fantastic save by Nick Raimondo, but somehow, some way, Aristeguieta, right place, right time, he would open up his goal-scoring account in Major League Soccer, and he would draw RSL level. But just 4 minutes later, a big ball played out of bounds, a quick throw-in played in, and not only is Chris Schuler out of position, but so is Jamison Olave. And again, Aristeguieta, this ball falls kindly to him. First time far post side net, and somehow, some way, Real Salt Lake would find themselves trailing the match heading into the halftime break. Now, whatever Jeff Cassar said to start the second half worked because Real Salt Lake came out strong. Set-piece opportunity from Javier Morales, and Audentis Garcia is going to claim it, but it's not going to be his goal. It's going to be Jamison Olave. That ball goes off Audentis Garcia, hits Jamison Olave, and finds the back of the net to level things up 2-2. But as the fans were starting to believe, then it was a simple ball behind. Maidana skips past an on-rushing Chris Schuler, and Jamison Olave cuts down the angle, and that's an own goal. Ladies and gentlemen, Philadelphia Union would find themselves up 3-2 on the road heading into the final 5 minutes of this match as Nick Raimondo comes off his line. That ball just rolling harmlessly into the back of the net. But combination play, and listen, if you're ever going to see a call this season that falls squarely in the favor of Real Salt Lake, it's this one, and it was a kind one. It was an arm bar from Maurice Adu that didn't connect, that led to a penalty kick. And up steps Alvaro Saborio, and somehow, some way, Real Salt Lake levels 3-3, good enough to get the point at home.
All right, Dunny, thanks for those highlights. We've got to go to the telestrator here and have you take a look at some of this stuff and show us exactly how these things went right and went wrong.
Well, for Real Salt Lake, you talk about taking opportunities and trying to create the most advantageous opportunities, especially in the final third. I want you to take a look at the breakdown, and I want you to see how quickly Real Salt Lake can break into the attack. But what I want you to watch right here, keep an eye on the way DeMar Phillips, who we talked about time and time again, was looking to get up and down this left-hand side. But watch the ball to Audentis Garcia. Then I want you to watch two players in particular. Watch Alvaro Saborio, watch Luis Gil, and how Sabo makes his first run into the top of the six. But then Luis kind of flares out to the backside. In an ideal situation, not only would you have playing and movement off the ball, but you would have the opportunity to finish. And you can see the helter-skelter defending from the Philadelphia Union, not staying with their tracks. And Alvaro Saborio, he whiffs by mere inches. And then Luis Gil, right at the top of the penalty spot, he had a great opportunity, but he was unable to keep his shot on frame. Then I want you to watch one simple ball, and it's so simple but so delicate. It's a simple ball up over the top, and keep an eye right here on this man, Sebastian Jaime, and what he does. Takes a great first touch inside the right foot, gets it on the preferred left foot. And the question is, can he take another touch without being closed down? I like the idea. I like the confidence of Sebastian Jaime, who is yet to open up his goal-scoring account, gets his head up, strikes from distance. The opportunities would continue, and for Audentis Garcia, he would force that back line into a situation they were uncomfortable. And most importantly, for the Philadelphia Union, they did not like the chances that they were conceding early in this match. And again, without those fluke goals, I think Real Salt Lake comfortable in this game and taking away the potential full 3 points.
All right, thank you very much, Dunny. Every week we like to profile somebody, tell you somebody's story, their backstory. I had the commissioner, Don Garber, on talking about the changes in Major League Soccer last week. This week we want to look at an RSL player, and there are several tried and true paths to Major League Soccer. MLS teams love to find the best players from North America. They comb Central America and the Caribbean. I'm looking at you, Sabo, Andy Williams, DeMar Phillips. And some guys go through USA college programs, Nick Raimondo, Tony Beltra, and Devin Sandoval. And then there's Luke Mulholland, the Englishman, who came to the States to play at Division II Wilmington, and it paid off.
I would say I had a successful college career, getting All-American awards, but like you say, though, not many players that play Division II soccer are going to go and turn pro, but I guess it was a part of me saying, like, well, you know, you got one. If you're going to try and turn pro, then this is the year that you need to do it straight out of college. So it was a gamble that I took, and I gave it my all, and it worked out.
Well, you had to take the most financial aid. You said you didn't have much money. Is that why the chicken quesadilla from Taco Bell was the meal of choice in college?
It was. It was maybe even a little bit too spicy for me at first time, but 'cause I don't like spicy foods. But yeah, Taco Bell was my spot.
Risk it for a biscuit, it says on your college profile. That's your quote. What does that mean? Where did that come from?
No, it's just a saying from back home, I guess. Just like rolling the dice, you know, you just got to risk it for the biscuit, and that's what I did in regards to trying to turn professional.
So your goal was to graduate and travel the world. Now, you work your way up through the minor leagues, so Minnesota and Tampa Bay, and now Real Salt Lake. You've seen a big chunk of America, maybe not on ideal, you know, a lot of airports and locker rooms, not so much history, maybe a little bit here and there, not a lot. And now with RSL qualified for CONCACAF, you're going to get to, have you been on a lot of continents, or is it just Europe and North America? Have you done the traveling thing?
Yeah, not really done the traveling thing yet. Done a few of the islands surrounding America, so no, not too much traveling yet. So I figured I'd do as much as I can in my soccer career with visiting and playing against teams, but then once I get done playing, then I can start.
Turn it loose.
Yeah.
That's just a little piece of my conversation with Mulholland. He has an incredible story, and you'll hear it in its complete entirety Saturday night after college basketball before 2 News at 10. We'll be on sometime between 9 and 9:30, depending on how long the games go, with a Talkin Real primetime special on KUTV2. All right, RSL doesn't play this weekend. Toronto FC will be here on Sunday the 29th. Toronto opened with a 3-1 win at Vancouver, then a 2-0 loss at Columbus. And Dunny, Justin Morrow's red card just before the half was pivotal.
Yeah, it really puts in perspective this Jekyll and Hyde performance from week 1 on the road, 3 points at Vancouver, which everyone picked them to lose, including myself. And then they go into Columbus, and it was a good, solid start, but then that Justin Morrow tackle affords the referee an opportunity to make a decision. That decision was red. When you take a look at kind of what goes on with Toronto FC, there's one play in particular I want to take a look at, and it's just wide play. It's wide service, and you see all those red jerseys from Toronto FC, and yet Justin Merrim from the Columbus Crew goes completely untracked through the top of the 18-yard box. It's something so simple and so subtle, yet I think it's a perfect example of what's gone wrong early defensively for Toronto FC.
All right, you talk about the money they spent, the spine, but the spine is largely, maybe completely, going to be gone because it's an international date on the 29th. RSL and Toronto FC will both be shorthanded, although we don't know precisely who will be called in. Maybe some stars will be left.
Well, you think about this entire group of players that are game changers. Not only do you have the Justin Morrow red card at left back, so who steps in there? Stephen Caldwell, the other center back, pulled up with a calf injury. You've got Michael Bradley, United States national team, Josie Altidore, United States national team, and then you've got Giovinco. Now, Italy is hosting England in an international friendly, and the 5'4" Atomic Ant potentially could be a part of that, which is interesting because if he does get rewarded for coming to Major League Soccer, that's a little twist in the matrix from the international scene for MLS. Yeah, that's a huge
guys in from MLS.
So this is a positive for not only the league, but also for Real Salt Lake. Now, Real Salt Lake's going to have some question marks as well, but I think this is going to hurt the lack of depth for Toronto.
All right, so this is a bye week for RSL, but it's not a bye week for all the RSL players.
No.
The Monarchs are playing now, so explain how you think this could work.
Well, think about this. In the past, when it's been a bye week for Major League Soccer, you think that maybe there's some way they can create some type of fitness games, replicate some type of high-pressure intensity. Well, for Real Salt Lake in particular, there are going to be 7 players from RSL's first team that are going to join Real Monarchs as they hit the road for their very first game in USL Pro at LA Galaxy 2. Now, how does that change things? Well, you think about Luis Gil at 16 years old. You think about some of these young players coming through the pipeline that only have the opportunity to play at a high level but get games and experience, as opposed to just sitting thinking about training sessions.
All right, make sure you join us for Talkin' Real Saturday night in primetime on Channel 2 after the college basketball. We'll be back here next Thursday night with some more details on that Toronto FC matchup, and we'll be right back in a minute with the play of the day. Stay with us.